to Shit They Don't Tell You. I'm Nikki Limo.
Hello, buddy. It's Iceman. What's up?
And if you see me twitching my eye, I have a cat hair in there, and it just won't come out, and
we're dealing with it.
We're dealing with it the best we can. This is an audio first format, so, you know, if it bothers you, you maybe just go listen on Google Play, or does Google Play still exist?
No.
Listen to it on Spotify.
That doesn't exist either.
Oh, shit. iTunes,
iPod. They closed.
Podcast.
They all went out of business.
Please rate us on iTunes.
That would be great if it was still there.
Oh, man. We're fucked.
Yeah.
All right. I guess you have to look at me twitching my eye. Anyway, we have gathered some questions from you, and we like to answer them on the show. You can ask us anything. These are Ask Us Anything type question episodes.
We didn't intro it. Sorry, we didn't intro it. We like to call this. We have a first of all huge writing team here, and we like to call this Ask Us Anything.
Ask Us Anything. Isn't that like?
Yeah.
You've never heard that.
We thought that was cool.
It was so original.
We thought that was cool.
Super original.
So congrats, Brad. Hey, dude, huge hat tip to Brad. Brad in the writer's room came up with that.
The writer's room is strong.
Super strong here.
So like we have a really catchy title for the segment of our show called Ask Us Anything.
Ask Us Anything.
And you can ask us literally anything, but we like if you ask us something weird, we'll probably cut it out.
We'll just
kind of cut it out. Yeah, Mark will cut it out. Shout out to Mark. He's great. Also, disclaimer, we're not experts at any of these topics. We're not professionals. So none of this is actual legal advice or monetary financial advice or really like real advice. Yeah.
Nice.
So fuck you.
Yeah, way to bring it home there.
You. Not them, you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Hey, fuck you back, buddy.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Also, if you have a question, you could email us podcast@nikki.limo. That's podcast@nikki.limo. Like a limousine. I always have to say that because people still go, Lino? Lilo?
You're talking about people in real life, like at the DMV and stuff.
Yeah, I'm like, well, at the
people who watch us generally
mostly
know.
At the poker rooms when I'm trying to get my name on the wait list.
Oh, true.
And then like a limousine. It's like a limousine. Okay, so I don't look at the questions beforehand.
I say green like the color, and then I say, can you
with
also
an
add an E in the end? Yeah.
That's what I say too when I have to give my other last name.
Yeah. It's a hell of a life you have.
I have a really complicated life that I put on myself.
Yeah. And the cat hair because you fucking kiss cats on the face.
They kissed me on the face.
So you get cat hairs in your eyes.
I didn't consent. I was like, I have makeup on, don't kiss me. And they
I like walking into the bedroom and Nikki's like doing her makeup and stuff. And all the way across from us is a water faucet that's on. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And she's like, Franklin's drinking out of the faucet.
He's done now. Can you turn that off?
Dude, my life is crazy.
My life is crazy. I made your life crazy. You're welcome.
Exactly.
Okay. Our first question is not a relationship question. That's the title of this question.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, so I don't know what it's about, guys, because it's not a relationship question. Also, a lot of people like to ask us relationship questions. I don't know why. Guess because we're in a relationship.
Oh.
It helps them.
That could be why.
But you could ask us anything. Ask me about cotton candy. I'll give you an answer.
We might cut that.
What?
We might cut it.
What?
If we have a controversial take on cotton candy, we're not going to put that on the internet.
That's true. I do have a very controversial take on cotton candy, so maybe don't ask me about it. Don't ask me about that.
No, don't ask me.
All right, not a relationship question. Here we go. Number one, compliments. I have to say that I found you two in an extremely dark place, and watching new wonderful things happen in your life has really given me hope for the future. I aspire to relate with another in a similar way, and thank you too for the hard work you put into allowing the world to watch you as you grow. That's so sweet. I hardly ever think about that because it's true. Like it's just like putting out our real lives as they unfold in real time.
Yep.
And like.
You never know how it's affecting people.
You never know like who's watching that.
You always kind of forget that people are watching it. Actually.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
it's like I write in my journal every day, but I know people aren't reading it.
Yeah.
But like, what if a whole world was reading it? Also,
it's interesting.
You know,
right?
That's so weird. Anyway, Tasty Tuesday is the best cooking show I've ever seen, but don't ever let anyone say otherwise. Both of your senses of humor are refreshing, and I wish there were more like you. You are so freaking sweet. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Backstory. I'm a 36-year-old, never married or had children, with 100 years of emotional education. I say that because I spent 10 years addicted to hard drugs after the childhood of all types of abuse, and been in therapy my whole life. 11 attempts at rehab later, and I slew that beast 4 years ago. Yay me. Congratulations. That's really, really tough, and I'm so proud of you.
Understated to say congrats.
Yeah, honestly. Although it's not pleasant to admit, a lot of my story involves physical and mental abusive exes and family members, including extreme rape circumstances, Wish there was a more polite way to say that. I've concluded some people have more intense lives than others, and that's just where I'm at because it is shaped how I view the world. Okay. Wow. I'm so sorry that you had to go through all that. That's wild, and I can't even pretend to relate to that type of trauma.
Same.
Getting to the point. Number 3, getting to the point. When I got sober 4 years ago and began to obsessively introspect my life, I knew I had to let go of all unhealthy connections. One by one, I removed anyone who didn't add something beneficial to my world. Now I look around and there's no one left. Literally, I've acquired a deep sense of self-love that led to finally having my own thoughts and opinions while creating healthy boundaries and no longer people-pleasing. Congrats. And this is the ideal outcome. I should be happy, right? But all the self-worth in the world can't bring you a social life. I find myself bitter and resentful that I put so much work into getting sober and healthy that it created a bar others can't reach. Everyone I meet, I nitpick how self-aware they are, and if every sentence they say is positive, did I swing too far towards the self-righteous side of self-help? Of course I want people that are good for me, but when is it too much? I can't seem to meet like-minded people, and although it's hard to admit, I do judge if someone has opinions that look like possible red flags, even orange or pink ones. I am an energy healer and psychic, which makes working remotely easy and not helpful to find any acquaintances. COVID obviously only worsened this problem, and now it's been years since I've called someone a friend. Does it need to be said that I've forced into celibacy with my consent? Without connections to humanity, I find myself living on a small island I call Lameville. I do want to participate in this Earth experience, so how to make friends when scorned from so much trauma? P.S. I do see a therapist and go to groups for mental health. I'm tired of it being me all the time. I know I'm a tiny goddess trapped in a human body, but how do I find others that feel the same? Where are all the shaven hippies who don't smell like patchouli? Am I asking for too much? Bitter Betty.
Well, Betty, first of all,
Bitter Betty.
You had to go through that because you needed to isolate so that you could find inner strength. So you did fucking awesome.
It's like the pendulum swung from one extreme to the other.
Absolutely. But you had to stop your old patterns, right? Your old cycle of like, I'll do what my friends want, and even if I'm taking pieces of myself and giving it away.
Yeah.
So now you have all the pieces, and you're a whole puzzle, right? But now it's time to be okay to break off some of those pieces again. You got to be a little more vulnerable than you're being.
You said you do tarot, like you're psychic and a healer. So in the tarot deck, the death card is like, it's just the death of your old life. And I always freaking get the death card. And it's always usually during a time where...
Renewal.
Yeah, it's like I'm starting a new chapter, and sometimes the old needs to die for the new ones to grow. Just like flowers, the old flowers die, but then new ones grow, and they're bigger and better and prettier. And, the phoenix, the whole like burning to ashes and rising from them bigger.
That's why
and
Leonardo
strong.
DiCaprio likes young women, because, it's the same exact thing.
See? The old ones die off. And
it's like Jesus. And so you can't really blame him because it's the same exact metaphor. And so, but with you, it's so, it's so good that you got to this place, right? Because now you have a baseline. It's important to have a home plate.
Yeah.
You have a home plate now, but you can trust yourself to get up to bat again. Like you really can, because you've set your own personal boundaries. You know what you want. Yeah, maybe you're nitpicking, right? That's probably true. Mm-hmm. But you got to be vulnerable too.
Yes.
So,
well, because your nitpicking is coming from not wanting to slip back into your old ways.
You went through trauma.
You went through trauma and you did a lot of work on yourself to get out. It's like, okay, so I had an eating disorder when I was in high school. I'm open to admit that now. It's been healed for a very long time. But it took about 2 years to like really like get through it and get over it and like rehab and, not relapse again. And for the next like 10 years, I was so scared of relapsing. So I was very obsessed with, being healthy and having a good relationship with food. But sometimes I was like being so conscious of being healthy that was almost like a new eating disorder.
Of course.
Like where it's like...
You're just obsessive.
Yeah, because I don't want to slip back into counting calories or not eating or, binging and purging or whatever the heck. So I was like, I need to have a solid relationship with food. I need to get exactly this many calories that are healthy, and I need like a balanced diet, and I need to like finish my meals and like all of that stuff. And it was almost unhealthy how extreme it was. But did I need it to be that way? Did I need a strict set of rules in order to break the old? Yeah, I did. Once the old was broken and I could trust myself that I wouldn't go back, that's when I needed to let go of like these other crazy rules that help me out.
It's important to remember that you're not a house of cards anymore. So the idea that like you could get a bad friend or whatever, and that would ruin you, is less of a concern. I mean, you've been doing this for 4 years, right? I mean, yes, be wary of people who maybe could influence you in a negative way always, but don't do this shit to yourself where you're reflexively discarding human beings that you don't know yet.
I have a friend like that. We've been talking to this person about opening up a little bit more and like accepting new people, or like, you know, kind of just realizing that everybody has flaws, even if they're like, obviously you don't want to go back to associating with people who might pull you back into drug addiction, but everyone's got some kind of flaws. Maybe they need help with more self-awareness or whatever it is. You're always going to find flags if you're looking for them. And I just think that being able to be vulnerable, not just you, and I think this is why maybe you're having this problem, because usually we find the problems that are still within us.
Yes.
So I think you might be having a little bit of trouble being vulnerable because you don't want to slip into negativity again. But there's kind of a difference, right? Because it's not human to be 100% positive all the time. That is also very unhealthy, and it's, you know, you're suppressing a lot of emotions that are, so you have these toxic emotions, they need to come out. Like, so you have anger, it's natural to have anger or sadness or fear or blah blah blah, and that's, I think you're probably familiar with shadow work. You know, that's a lot of shadow work is like letting these things live and come out.
What's a shadow work?
And living simultaneously with them. So the shadow self that we all have is stuff that we suppress because we're ashamed of it. Like, we don't want other people to see that. We don't like that part of ourselves. It's bad. We labeled it bad because it's not accepted by society. You know, like, what's a good one? Like, you know, I cry a lot, or like, you know, and that's how I release emotions.
And people are like, that's bad, don't cry.
Yeah,
and
don't have a meltdown
dude, like,
in public. So I'm like, I'll never have a meltdown ever. And then it's just in there living and like becoming like festering. And then it's going to come out sometime, and probably in a very volatile and unhealthy way, instead of just like, all right, I'm going to give myself 30 minutes because she needs to scream.
Yep.
Like, that's just it. I call her she. I just go like, hey, she's having a day. She needs to scream. Let her scream, and then it'll be fine, because I used to get yelled at for releasing emotions that way.
Not around here, you don't.
And here I can just, be free to be yourself. And that is also a part of me. Like, that's my shadow self. That's also a part of who you are as a person. So you might have other qualities that you don't like about yourself that just kind of need a little bit of love. They need to be embraced and then like let out. And you're probably seeing that in other people and don't want them to bring that energy out of you.
100%.
Yeah. But I think that if they're a good person, they have good intentions, they're not like shady, they're not going to like steal from you or try to coax you into doing something bad. They're just like, you know, have an annoying tendencies, or like have like a pink flag, an orange flag, like as you call them.
You can also fuck up. Like, you can also just like you misread somebody. It's not it's not always, you know, even if, you know, you have a good intuition, you're not always on it, right? Like, you're a human being, and things can affect your intuition a lot. So, you know, don't think that you got everybody figured out. I would say that's the first thing. Yeah.
And then also, like, after you get comfortable, I think that you're not really able to have a close relationship with someone unless you do kind of share some vulnerabilities, and those can be kind of a downer moment. So just put a little protective barrier. You know, I put, like they say, put a white light around you. Like, if someone is coming to me with a problem, like they're really depressed and they're going through something, I don't want to be, I tend to take on that depression if I don't kind of like consciously protect myself from it. Yeah. So if I'm going in that conversation, I want to be there for them. I want to be open. I want to be a listener, but I don't want to get affected by it. So I consciously put like a protective barrier energetically around me. And I think that would probably help you. I mean, you're a healer, so I feel like you already know that, but maybe you know it in logically, but you don't apply it. And try it out, you know? See if maybe you can get past some of those initial pink flags, orange flags. Well, also, you've been focusing on yourself for so long. You have to remember that, you know, other people have baggage too, and that it's okay.
And so
everyone's at a different stage.
Yeah, everyone's
in
at a
there.
different stage, and everyone's got to take luggage on the plane. So like, there's nobody who really doesn't travel with luggage. So everybody's got something. So the more that you step away and go, you know what, I do trust myself, the less you'll worry about other people's luggage, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
And then the second problem is just how do you meet people? That's always always
It
a
sounds
lot
like
of people.
It sounds like Betty's meeting people though. It's just that she's being very careful.
Oh, it sounded like because of COVID and working from home that she wasn't like.
Maybe I misread it.
She said she hasn't really had a friend in a couple years.
Yeah.
So.
But she's saying that she meets people when it's red flag city.
Yeah, that was before COVID.
Oh, word.
I think that's what she said. Yeah, she said like before she was like already having trouble meeting people, and then COVID hit. And,
got it.
But yeah, that's I think join different groups like where there are similar minded people. If you like yoga, maybe join a yoga group. It's kind of like.
I mean, don't hang out with yoga heads though. Yoga heads are a little annoying though.
Really annoying. Like, let's judge them right away.
I do.
I do yoga, asshole.
You don't you're not one of those yoga people though.
Yeah, but it's like those like people that do casual yoga.
What if you're waking up every day like 5 a.m. and doing
There's
yoga?
There's casual yoga people.
You do yoga at 10 a.m. too.
That's
and you do yoga
healthy.
at night. So weird.
I did that for a while, or I tried to, but then I got lazy.
That's a red flag to me.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, they should do your routine of nothing.
Excuse me?
They should do your routine of nothing.
What's my routine?
You can go downstairs and sit down at your computer for a while.
Oh, is it?
Lift a couple weights for like 5 minutes.
Shut the fuck! I don't lift weights for 5 minutes, asshole.
How often do you lift weights?
I lift weights every single day. And I do it for 45 minutes.
And then you combine it with cardio?
I'm getting there. I'll get there.
How often do you walk?
Not that often, depending on where we go, I guess. But
so maybe I want to.
How many times
maybe
I
think a yoga person. I think maybe a yoga person might be a little healthier than you. That's what I'm saying.
No, I agree. I was just memeing.
I'm not.
I know.
I'm dead serious.
I know.
You little bitch boy. Little weightlifting
stop
bitch
calling
boy.
Me bitch boy. I like that.
Bitch titty.
Thank you.
That's my new favorite.
It's weird.
Bitch titty.
It's a weird one.
Titty bitch titty boy.
All right, moving on.
Anyway, hope that helps you. What was it? Bitter Betty? Oh yeah, and then I think you're kind of spiraling into like being like resenting that you put so much work into yourself and not like it's almost, and don't take this word the wrong way, but it's almost entitlement. I've talked about this before where I have this to also where I'm like, if I put a certain amount of work into something, I expect subconsciously sometimes a return. Like if I worked really hard on an exercise routine and I was waking up every morning at 8 a.m. and going to work out, I expect a certain result. And when I wasn't getting it, I would get really frustrated and stressed out, and then it would cause the opposite result to happen. It's like when you're looking for somebody, like you're looking for a partner and you're trying so hard that you're actually just giving off this desperate energy that's preventing you to get a partner that you want in the first place.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like I don't know what it's called, but it's some sort of law where you're like, you're just wanting it too hard.
Okay.
And you're expecting that you're doing it being results oriented instead of process oriented.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like just be like in love with the process that you're working on yourself without like the expected outcome of, well, I should deserve friendships and all this other stuff because of it. Like it'll happen. You just have to trust it'll happen. It's not on a timeline. It's not like, well, I did this for X amount of months or years and now I should have my prize.
Fair.
Yeah. Because life is just weird. It's just unfair like that. Some people get their prize after like a month and it's like, fuck you. That's not fair. Why is your metabolism so good? All right. Our next one is just want to say thanks, compliments. Hey, Nikki, Steve, I love you guys in the pod. You're like older siblings. You're like the older siblings I wish I had. And I just want to say for the second time in 3 months, I broke my femur. Oh my God.
What do you mean?
That sounds terrible. Just in a different spot. And Big Boot Tasty Tuesday and shit they don't tell you are helping me get through recovering from my surgeries and hospital stays. Thanks to you, Steve, at the Big Mood Girls for brightening my life. Courtney. Oh, Courtney, I hope you feel better soon.
But a piece of advice.
Okay, why do you break your femur
breaking
twice?
Your fucking femur, please.
Is it a different femur? Did you break both femurs?
Are you breaking the same femur?
Or is it the same femur? Maybe that's a weak ass femur.
Hey, get a new femur.
Yeah, that's a weak ass femur.
Yeah. That is medical advice. Get a new femur.
Please get a new femur. Get a femur donation, a femur transplant.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Okay, our next question.
Where's the femur? Is that in your leg?
I think it's your arm. I don't fucking know.
I think it's your pinky finger.
It might be either your shin bone or your arm bone.
I think it's next to your forehead.
Now I gotta look it up. It's not next to your forehead. It's a shin or an arm femur bone.
Oh, you know what? Your femur, I think it's like right here under your elbow.
I'm done with you. I gotta put a protective shield over myself right now because I was
being completely serious.
It's your thigh bone. I was wrong about all of it.
I was so close. I said toe bone.
Moving on. That's like not a phalange. Your phalanges are your fingers.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Your toe-langes.
Don't call me that.
Your dirty toe-lange.
Don't call me that.
All right. This next one says perfect relationship, but ... Uh-oh. Okay. Hi, Nikki and Steve. Love both of y'all. Huge fan of Shit They Don't Tell You and Big Mood. Hell yeah.
Hello, sirs.
My boyfriend, 24, and I, 23, just celebrated our 2-year anniversary in March. Congrats. We have the same values and love each other tremendously. My family adores him as much as I do. We have great communication in our relationship, always talking out our feelings/problems so they wouldn't lead to a fight. Great. I've known he's my person and I know he feels the same. And recently we had a discussion about how different we are. We do have similar interests, but not that many. He has expressed when choosing things to do that he usually picks what I would like more than him. Also, that to him, I mainly choose what I want to do. I have been trying and I'm even planning things for the summer that are specific to him. We are also currently long distance while he is at school. We try to see each other at least once a month and message each other throughout the day. Since we last discussed it, I have really thought about how different we are and if we would be happy together in the long run. I don't want to break up with him because to me we complement each other with how different we are. I'm afraid that we may come to the realization that we are too different. A part of me thinks it's the long distance getting to me or that we're out of the quote unquote honeymoon phase, but I'm still in love and attracted to him as I was before. Am I overthinking this? What should I do? Do y'all have any advice for finding similar interests? And thank y'all for the help. Emily or any name y'all come up with.
Hey, Mark, let's hit the breakup button, please. Break up! I think we agree, Nikki.
You're stupid.
Yeah, what the hell's wrong with you?
No, okay. You
Hold
go
on.
first. Go ahead.
Let me have her back here.
You go first.
You're fine, baby. You're overthinking things because you found something really nice and you're looking for holes. I think that's what's going on. I think that she has a great relationship with somebody and she's way overthinking it because she's like, we're different. Does this work? But it already works.
Yeah. You can talk yourself out of a good thing.
That's what she's doing.
But the one concern I do have is that you say you love him just as much as when you first got together. I think it's a common thing for people to think in theory, but what the flag to me was that you said that maybe it's because you're out of the quote unquote honeymoon phase. And for me, I don't think I ever fell out of the honeymoon phase with you. And you're the first and only person that's ever happened with. I believe the
Steve Green theory is why.
What's the Steve Green? The fart?
We don't fart around each other. We don't like talk about poo-poos and pee-pees.
Oh my God. Earlier, my family was in town.
Oh yeah.
I'm calling them out.
Because
I think they honestly have colon issues. Like they fart so much.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty weird.
I was actually taken aback
when
by
you're used to our home.
Yeah.
Where there's no farting
There's no
going
farting.
On, and then all of a sudden, like they're all fucking tooting up the storm
they're like,
in here.
You're unhealthy because you're not farting. I'm like, I go to the bathroom and like release gas, but I honestly don't feel any farts at all throughout the day.
I do say though, when your brother farts on his own kid's head, that's pretty fucking funny.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
That's fucking hysterical.
And also when my little nephew farts, he likes to announce it and he doesn't think it's funny. He just needs to let everyone know. And it's really smelly. Also, their farts smell really bad.
I like it when your brother farts on his kid's head and then your kid farts on his stuffed animal's head. fucking bust a gut. Get out of here.
But not literally because you'd be farting.
I wouldn't do that around the family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway.
We have a quiet home is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
And we weren't used to this.
Yeah, and a smell-free home, other than like when the kitty litter needs to be changed.
Weird. We find weird turds places sometimes.
Yeah, but today there was a turd in Steve's closet, and I couldn't figure out what happened. But
it's because I pooped in my closet.
Well, yeah, and he just wants to blame the cat.
I blame the cat.
That was the only red flag, honestly, in that whole thing. And you'll hear a lot of couples that have been together a very long time say that it's very natural for people to fall out of the honeymoon phase, and you get really comfortable with one another, but. That didn't happen with me and Steve, and I don't know why. I don't know if that's just like a super abnormal thing. Is it Steve Green theory? Is it Steve Green theory? Is it that we continuously court each other?
True.
Like we still stay like trying to impress each other. I still really care what he thinks. He really cares what I think. It's probably more than when we first started dating.
That's a fact.
And there's just like I don't know. He just gets me more than any other person. Last night we were
see?
yeah,
So
we were both about to tell the same story.
That's honestly, I know how annoying this is. I'm so sorry, guys.
I'm sorry. I know it sounds annoying.
It sounds so annoying, but I can just look at Nikki sometimes and I know exactly what the fuck she's thinking, and she knows exactly what the fuck I'm thinking. And last night we were at this, what I can only describe as a very douchey dining experience.
But it was really cool.
It was awesome.
It was cool.
But it's like douchey for our level. We're not cool enough for this shit.
Very artsy and eccentric.
Yes.
And it's like really neat, like brilliant, great. But also like we just were not used to that level.
We're not hoity-toity at all. And
I wouldn't even know how to critique it if I
exactly.
Yeah.
But like when a cat is standing there and he's like, hey, so just so everybody knows, like this octopus is infused with like fucking cherry lime jubilee and all this shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, I started laughing. I looked at Nikki. I started laughing.
We both started
laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then our friends that we were there with, they're like, what's up? And I was like, I'm just not cool enough for this shit. Like straight up. It's not that
we were having a great time.
Better than the experience. Nope. We had a great time at the experience. But sometimes you have to look at yourself and go, oh, I'm way too trash for this.
We take ourselves out of what like. It's like we can observe it from afar and laugh at it like it's always. Like two people in a sitcom that got invited to this really fancy thing that they're not quite fancy enough for.
Like me and Nikki would have been more stoked if you told us, like if you got us into a room and you were like, Taco Bell is going to bring out all kinds of food right now. We'd been like, holy shit.
Or if they're like, a robot makes Taco Bell from your house.
Oh my God. Or they're like, hey, we're bringing back the Mexican pizza.
Yeah.
We'd be like, holy shit.
They are bringing back the Mexican pizza.
What are you fucking talking about?
They're bringing it back.
The Taco Bell Mexican
pizza.
Am I
blowing your mind right now?
You are blowing my mind right now. This is breaking news right now.
Yeah, it's coming back.
They don't tell you right now.
Unless I remembered wrong.
Wait, they're bringing back that Mexican pizza that they took off the menu?
Yeah, because everyone got mad.
Good, but they didn't listen to us for a long time. It's been out for years.
I think they're bringing it back, but I could be dead wrong and just making that up.
Can we go to break?
Yeah. You need to go to break?
Yeah, I need to Google this.
Do you Google this? But we're not done with this question.
Well, wait, this is actually
I was in the middle of answer.
News.
Okay, you look it up right now. Anyway, my point is, while Steve's looking that up, is that everything just got really like a lot stronger to a point where I would never even question. Like I wouldn't ever think linearly or logically or need to make a pros and cons list. Like, well, what if in 5 years Steve changes his mind and doesn't?
Holy shit! It's coming back. The Taco Bell Mexican pizza coming back.
I'm so glad my memory didn't fail me this
month.
Time.
Well, I guess by the time people hear this, it's this month.
Yeah.
So that's May.
No, this is coming out in like next week.
Yeah. So
okay,
May.
yeah. So yeah,
that's huge news.
Okay, can we get back to the fucking? You never asked.
So, anyways, we're very linked, and yeah, it's exactly what she's talking about. I mean, it's just something where
you can look at each other from across the room, and you're just like, and that's like your soul person.
And I can't wait to experience things like that with her, so we can talk about it afterwards. I mean, that's why I do anything, is so I can share it with Nikki.
And it's not like I don't even feel like we have a lot of things that we're interested in common. Like we have a lot of common interests, but I have a whole bunch of things that he's not interested in. And
goddamn right.
He has a whole bunch of things that I'm not, well, maybe not as long of a list, but that I'm not interested in, but he's just very hyper obsessed with those things.
True.
And it does not make a difference in the world because that connection is so strong.
Like Nikki did not want to go see a new Batman movie with me.
Yeah, I'm like, go
and that's upsetting. I'm not gonna lie, it's upsetting.
It's not upsetting.
It doesn't hurt my feelings.
You weren't upset at all.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
No,
because
stupid shit.
Our life values are the same, and the way that we see the world is the same, and that's why we can look at each other and just in each other's eyes know exactly what the person is thinking, and we'll usually agree and laugh at it, and nobody will know what we're laughing about.
It's the best, and we've been through some stuff together, so we've been together for a long time, so it's you really do find that your person is your person.
Yeah.
In all the ups
But you're
and
very
downs.
young. You're 23. That's super young. And that's also the age where people do start drifting apart. That was the age where I was with my ex of 5 years.
Under 25 is tough.
Yeah. Under 25 is very tough because you are discovering what will be your forever adult identity, like your future identity, like really the ground that you stand on for the rest of your life. And from 18 to 25, I feel like you can splinter in a completely different direction than your partner. So if you're feeling tinges of that, even though you're like, but I still love him, I don't know. There might be something in your gut that's like tipping you off. I wouldn't do anything drastic right away, but observe it, pay attention to it, see if it goes away once you're not long distance.
That's fair.
But I wouldn't ignore it completely.
Also, can I say this too? Maybe we'll cut this if you don't want to talk about this, but like something that me and Nikki have been talking about a lot lately, which is like, are we gonna have a kid or not? It's like we're on the same page there too. Mm-hmm. Like it's super weird how we'll go into any situation and we just, like she said, we have the same life values, the same like goals, and we look at the world the same way. So we'll go into a situation like we had our nephew here for like the couple days, and we loved the little guy. But
He's the best.
But then when he leaves, we're like, do we actually want to go through this?
Yeah.
Where that's our responsibility and we have to deal with it.
Because it was a lot of energy.
Kids are freaking frantic.
There were 4 adults and 1 child, and we were all exhausted.
Yes.
And I was like, what if it was just 2 adults?
It's wild, right?
That's insane.
Kitties would help a little bit. Let's be honest. Mm-hmm. We have 4 cats. That would help a little bit.
You think?
With an infant? Yeah. Because the kitties could trade off or whatever.
Oh, right. They would take shifts, the night shift.
But I'm thinking about, the day-to-day and even asking the kitties to go through that.
Yeah, like what if we wanted to go on vacation? Do you think the kitties would want to take them for like 5 days?
I think Joe would, but other than that, I don't think any of them would.
I think Joe would pee on that stuff though out of protection. And
exactly.
So like we can't trust that.
Oh, God.
So yeah. Kind of but yeah, that's things like that, like
things like that. Because if
major
it was like,
life decisions.
If it was like Nikki, I have to have a child. You will give me a child. Like how weird that would be. But like I just want Nikki's my number 1 priority. I want to experience life with Nikki.
Yeah.
After that, if we have a kid or we don't or whatever it is, it's like fucking on the bottom of my ladder, pal.
Yeah.
In comparison. So
yeah, and it's weird because both of us came from big families and both thought we would like totally want to have like a big family. Like,
I'm 36. I thought I would have 4 kids by now.
Me too. I didn't, not
my
4.
My brother's about to have 3.
I thought I was going to have 3 kids, but
he's under 30.
I don't know. We both started like really loving what we were doing right now together without a child. And
I can be as obsessive as I want, still have my beautiful marriage.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Do you want to give that up for a child we don't even know yet?
It's scary.
It's like a stranger. We don't know them.
It's scary. Although we do get to torture them because we get to name them.
Oh, true.
And they have to deal with it until they can at least legally change their own name.
That's true.
See?
Ha.
Ha.
Gonna name you something dumb like Steve.
Hey, don't say that. My name's cool. You always said my name was cool.
Step in.
Why would you do that to me? That's what they called me in kindergarten, and then it ruined my life.
I'm just jealous. I wish my name was Steve.
That's pretty good. You got me on that one.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break right now.
Wait, before we go on break, I just need to share a meme because it was really funny.
Okay, please.
Where they were like, my favorite part.
Is this the one getting stuck in her garage?
No.
Okay.
It was like my favorite part of my husband making an appointment for our cat with the vet is he has to call the vet and the vet goes, what's your name? And he goes, Jeff. And then the vet goes, what's the cat's name? And you hear him sigh in despair and go, Baby Jeff.
That's so funny.
And I just was like,
that's good.
Our next cat has to be Baby Steve.
That's really funny.
It's so fucking dumb and funny.
I'm not vain enough for that, but
I couldn't stop laughing. No, I don't think Jeff was either. I think the girl definitely
made that
was
happen.
the one that named him just for her own pleasure. It's so fucking
really
funny. Imagine Baby Steve, Baby Steve, come here.
And you know that he goes in there and the vet's like, this guy's an asshole. That's actually really funny trolling. That's good trolling because
he says it so like he says it so
labored.
Like,
yeah, like when we were watching that The Circle and the lady who was Lance Bass.
Yeah. She were trying to do yoga and one guy was doing yoga and she just was staring at him and he's like, I could do this forever. And she's like, I'd probably fall.
The way that she said it, it was like she had lived 1,000 lifetimes. It was like she had fallen. She had visualized herself breaking her kneecaps doing it.
Oh, but even that, we don't laugh at like very many comedies.
We laugh at nothing. That whole show. We were watching all of season 2 of The Circle. We didn't laugh out loud one time.
Even shows we think are funny, we don't really laugh out loud at.
And we both died at the same time. We fucking died.
Yeah.
So yeah, look, when you find a person, it's a fucking unbelievable experience. And I'm sorry, it sounds so gross.
I know it does, but also I should give you some hope. Like I just feel like I just wanted a little bit of to give you a little bit of insight on trusting your gut on some things because I did quote unquote love my ex during that time where I was feeling that way, and I was about the same age as you. I was 23, almost 24.
Sure, I thought I love my exes. I don't know.
Yeah, but I was like, well, there's nothing wrong, and he cares about me, and like, but we just don't have a lot in common, and I was just like, but I love him, but he gets me, but we don't fight, and it was just like, it doesn't matter if that get thing isn't there.
It's not even close.
If you think about spending the next 40 years of your life with that person and it kind of makes you sick to your stomach, that's a sign.
And also, for as much as me and Nikki love each other, we have our own independence as well. So it's not like...
That's what I love about it.
We're not glommed onto each other or glued together or whatever.
But that's part of our life values, is that like we both needed to have somebody who...
can handle that.
Also valued that. Yeah.
For sure.
And respects that. Yeah. So anyway, we're going for a break now.
We'll be back.
We will be back.
Please buy all of the things that we ask and we request for you to buy.
And download the things and then tell them that we told you to do that and that you love it. Hey, thanks for listening to our podcast. We just want to take a break to tell you thanks for listening to our podcast. And if you want to rate it, that would be really awesome for us.
Listen, we're on break. We're not talking to you like podcast hosts right now. We're just talking to you like people.
As a friend.
And we just want to say, please rate the show because it helps out huge amounts.
Like, we're not desperate. We're like kind of desperate.
We're giving shout outs right now to all the people who are giving it ratings. So huge shout out right now to Brian Jorgensen. That was sick of you, dude. Thank you. God bless. Huge shout out right now to Mark W. in Springfield, Connecticut.
Back to our podcast.
Jenny Blake.
Hey, back to our podcast.
In Tuscany,
and
Florida.
Back to our podcast.
God bless you. Thank you.
Steven.
Thank you for supporting the show.
Oh my God, Jensen sent us a message.
What does that mean?
Jensen?
I know Jensen.
He sent us
he sent us a message. I thought you meant he sent us like a voicemail or something.
No, an email.
Oh, funny.
No, I'm just saying that because it was his friend before.
His friend got him in. Yeah, that's funny.
And then we were making fun of his name, and now he sent us an email.
Let's do it. That's freaking epic.
Okay. I'm skipping ahead here. A couple emails. We're back from the break. I hope you downloaded everything and bought all the things.
Yes,
but
please.
A couple episodes ago, there was someone that wrote an email and said that their friend Jansen referred them, and we were just talking about how unique of a name that is.
We were roasting it, I think, quite a bit.
And Jansen sent us an email. I haven't opened it yet, but the title is Jansen here. Am I a teat suckler?
What?
That's the name. That's the name.
Did we call him a teat suckler?
I don't remember. I genuinely don't. But it is the Jansen.
He does sound like a real breastfeeder, that Jansen, huh?
Steve, Nikki, it's your boy Jansen. My friend Sophia shouted me out on a recent episode, and you guys made fun of my name for like 5 minutes. And it made my whole month. We love you.
You have a great sense of humor.
Yeah, we love you, Jansen. She deserves every Gucci button you've got. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Gucci.
Gucci button. The Gucci button.
The Gucci button. Mark, do you have that?
Cue it up, Mark.
Cue the Gucci button. I do have a question for you, and I'm sorry this is so long, but to clarify first, you were correct in that episode. It's pronounced Jansen. Oh, good. Because I just said it like 1,000 times right now.
Is it good, though? Or is that bad?
Why?
Well, because we were like, maybe it's pronounced just Jansen. And he's like, that is actually how it's pronounced. It's like, and then we railed on it for 5 minutes.
I don't remember what we said. Oof. I don't remember. I'm not responsible for past me's thoughts.
There you go.
Okay. I'm from New Orleans. He didn't say it like that, but I just added the...
He probably did.
Because I know they say it like that.
From
New Orleans, Louisiana, and my parents just thought it was a cool name. Not much deeper than that. I think we're technically Polish. LOL. I've been a fan of you both since roughly 2013, and you've probably shaped who I am more than I'm even aware of myself. Oh my God, that's a long time.
Jansen.
Dang, Jansen. Nikki, you've taught me how to put myself out into the world and get over insecurities, and I'm forever grateful. And Steve, I think you made me laugh harder than any human I can think of.
Oh my goodness,
that's
Jansen.
Amazing.
For a guy who works in an office building all day since he was an infant.
No, he sells musical instruments.
Oh, that too, yeah.
He does all of it. He works in the office by day and sells the instruments at night. He says, keep it up, Iceman, prayer emoji. I've recommended your podcast to a shitload of people, and I'm definitely going to do that more. Yay. Hell yeah, we love you, Jansen.
Thanks, Jansen.
Can everyone just please be more like Jansen?
Yeah, or at least pile on and make fun of Jansen's name for a little while.
Yeah, and then be more like him.
Yeah.
I would love some insight from you guys on how to manage my spending habits, or more specifically, how to stifle my expensive passions. Oh God, I'm not the person to ask for this.
I'm good at this.
Some context. I'm 23 years old. Wow, you started listening to us when you were like
13?
Like 13?
Wow.
Like 14?
Wow.
Okay, working as a production assistant for films in Atlanta, Georgia. It's popping off out here, so my income is pretty great. However, I'm a creative. I'm a director and composer for small indie films. See, he totally does run an instrument shop.
There it is.
So I'm constantly dropping dough on set decorations, location permits, costumes, camera rentals, etc. You guys know how expensive indie shoots can get. Yes. And I promise I'm not blowing my money on designer clothes and bullshit. Good for you.
Attaboy.
Despite my income being great, I still come up short on rent/groceries sometimes due to these purchases, and I have to default to my parents' wallet for help. I feel awful every time I have to do that because I'm fully aware that I wouldn't need their help if I just took a break from my passions to save or invest. I get so stressed about making rent that it makes me sick sometimes. But if I don't keep moving and making art, I think I'd go insane. Nikki, I share that neurotic, not enough time in the day thing you've got. Fuck, yeah. Steve, I'd love to join Crypto Corner, but I'm afraid I'm too right-brained to understand crypto, and any capital is going towards film work anyway. By the way, I've used sites like Indiegogo and Seed and Spark to raise money for films, but it feels weird convincing friends and family to pay me to make my own art. My parents have made it clear they would like for me to become independent, and I would love to, though they never hesitate to help me out financially, and we're stuck in that pattern. It's hard to get out of the pattern when I'm actually getting festivals, laurels for my work. That's awesome. Congrats. It's laurels is like when you get awarded.
Yes.
Okay. It seems like the universe is telling me to keep using my mommy's money. I'm very proud of my creative success, and I've had the opportunity to work on some gigantic films, but I feel like a privileged motherfucker suckling his family's teats. Am I the asshole, or should I keep making expensive art and give my parents millions in the future? Thanks for the help and the vibes. Much love, Jensen.
Jensen, I'll tell you something right now. I think you're going to get a break and you'll be fine. I really do believe that. Mm-hmm. But in the meantime, genuinely, you don't have to be part of Crypto Corner to know this. You have an iPhone, I assume, or a phone. You can get an app called Outlet Finance. Okay, it's just a fucking app that you get. It's actually connected to crypto. So those of you who are like, man, Steve, crypto's so hard, I don't want to do this all shit, right? I don't understand it. You get out the Outlet app. You can connect your bank account right away. You deposit, and it gets you 9% per year just on your deposit, just chilling in there. And it's taken all of the rewards that are being involved in the Terra ecosystem, and they're feeding it into the people who are holding on Outlet. So there's something you could do with play money, right? I have $60 in there right now. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I put it in there. God, I don't remember when I put it in there. Honestly, I have so many of these fucking things. But the point is that my lifetime earnings are 43 cents off of that $60. And it's been in there for, I don't know, a couple weeks.
Okay. I agree with all of this as investment advice, but can he use that on a monthly basis? Because it sounds like he's just coming up short every month. Can he use the passive income on a monthly basis? Like, can he withdraw?
Yeah, you can pull it out anytime you want.
You just have to pay capital gains tax?
You don't have to pay capital. Oh, yeah, you probably would have to pay capital gains. That's true.
Well, if you put enough in there as your nest egg, but I don't know.
I just think it's something where if he just keeps on taking like $5 and throwing it in there or whatever, he can actually start to build something. Yeah. Because he's saying he can't invest on anything right now.
And then he can maybe pay his parents back with that money.
Or eventually, right? Yeah. But at least he's doing something.
Yeah,
and coming up with rent. I'm not talking about that, brother. I'm talking about you take like, hey, I was going to go to Taco Bell today or whatever. I like to call it Taco Bell money. It's like, I'm going to take the fucking $15 or $12, chuck it into there instead. And at least you know it's doing something for you and not just sitting there getting eaten alive in your savings account because of inflation. But dude, I really genuinely believe that if you're doing what you love, you will find a break from it. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that I'm saying like, yeah, dude, keep on doing the parent thing is a strategy, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think that it's a strategy.
Well, I think that if you were cut off from your parents, you would still find a way to do it.
I do too.
Because I think that maybe you have to mentally convince yourself of that. It sounds like your parents are kind of trying to push you that direction and you want to go that direction, but no one's drawing a hard line in the sand. So you're not forced into that direction. And that's why you're feeling this way. But like, imagine you're forced and you had to make it work. Like, what could you do? Like, just really pretend like you can't go to your parents and like really believe that, because that was probably the best thing for me back then was my parents said that they wouldn't, if I dropped out of college to pursue my dream, that they wouldn't pay for anything, that I'd have to fully support myself. And I had to work 2 jobs to do it, but I was determined to make it happen. And you just get this fuel that you're not going to let anything stop you, not even a lack of money like that. But here's what happened though. I was able to do all that and pay my rent. And then after five-ish months of doing all that and paying for acting classes and doing everything myself, I humbly asked my parents because I said, hey, if I had even an extra $200 a month, I could pay for private coaching. And that would really help me out. And I think I could book a lot more jobs. So it was an investment, right? Mm-hmm. And my parents, because I had shown that I was really responsible, paying rent on time every month, and paying for everything else, they happily did that for me. And I meant it, that I was like, I will pay them back once I make it, you know? And I kept track of everything.
I was there.
And I cut
cried.
my dad a huge check for Christmas one year of all of the things he ever paid for. And yeah, he cried because he didn't even think that was ever going to happen. But I don't forget. And I promised that. And I
great.
just like, you know, they didn't even expect that. But that was just, I felt that, you know, like how you're feeling. Should I just, you know, pay them back millions when I'm, you know, when I made it? I think that if you, instead of buying the things first and being like short on rent, and now you're like stressing, pay for the rent first and then be like, man, I could really make some better things if I could buy this.
Yeah, pay for the rent first.
Pay for the rent first, because then you're not looking like you're dependent, because all your basic needs are paid for and you can afford it. You know that you make enough money for that. You just know that your parents are willing to give you free money, and then that's what you're kind of taking advantage of.
And not that you think that you are, but you are not fucking up being in this age range, being like, man, rent is hard.
Yeah.
That is just how it the fuck is.
It fucking sucks. And hobbies like this are expensive, especially when it's your dream.
And indies, man, I mean, dude.
Yeah.
They don't have budgets and you know it. And so you're going to have to scrimp and save, like, and try to cut corners. And sometimes that means you're paying for shit.
I think use your festival movies to kind of start branching out and maybe getting some attention of crowdfunding sites that aren't just your direct friends and family.
Or, dude, I mean, let's be real, right? Commercials are super lucrative. Like, you already have the resume probably. Like, you could definitely break into commercial stuff and at least start making, like, some better money on the side while you do the dream stuff.
He's making a lot of money, he says.
But he can't.
He just keeps spending too much per month. The other thing I used to do was, like, okay, I'm gonna invest in this piece of equipment or this location or this film, and then whatever profit I make from this, like whatever jobs I get from making this investment, then I can use that money to invest in the next thing that I want to get. Like there was a time where like I wanted to buy a bunch of lights and I wanted a better camera and I wanted like so many things all at one time, but I couldn't afford it. So I just bought one thing at a time. Once enough AdSense came in from the videos that I was making, I was able to upgrade the videos slightly. And then you just kind of go at the slower pace. And no, it's not what you want. You want to upgrade everything all at once. But hey, that's just the life sometimes. Like,
dude, I was dating this chick and like we wanted a camera, right? We wanted like a Canon.
Yeah.
So DSLRs are expensive. They're like $1,400 or some shit. So her old man was very kind enough to like loan us. Like we put together like a thing. He's like, hey, write me a payment plan. And then we put together a thing.
Yeah.
And then he was kind enough to like loan us the money to like get a DSLR.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was super cool. So like there are ways too to like maybe sit down with your parents and try to like game plan it out a little bit, so it's not just so like, hey, so I need your money again.
Now I don't have rent.
Like,
do you want me to be on the street?
Start to make it look like they're investing in you as well.
Yes, like more professionally. Like it just is.
It's better tact.
It's a more respectful way.
And it's more respectful, and it also lets them see that you have a goal in mind here.
Yeah, and that you're responsible.
You're not just holding your hand out. You have a plan. I think that will help you.
I think so too, and that wouldn't get you into some high interest debt or something like that, because you'd still be borrowing from the same source. But prove that you're responsible to like make payments back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope that helps. I don't think that you should cut back on pursuing your dreams, but maybe just realize like we don't all get to start at the top. So like, you know, you can build your way slowly. You can like build up the equipment and build up things and take care of your basic needs first. Like show people that you're responsible enough to take care of your basic needs.
Absolutely.
And then I think they'll be more
You're
willing.
an investment for your parents, right? So you know,
and you feel that way because you're like, once I make millions, I'm going to pay them all back. Yeah. So you believe in yourself.
So show them the path a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because you know where you're going, but do they? And if they're a little bit unsure, you can make it very clear. Writing up a business plan, just showing them what you want to do. And you can look up how to write business plans online. It's not too tough there, bud.
Are you an Aries?
Good luck out there, Jensen.
Jensen, the music shop, Aries.
The full-time 9-to-5er.
Okay.
At a high-rise downtown LA.
Moonlight's
Jensen,
music shop.
I want those reports on my desk.
All right. Next, also, thank you so much for listening
Yes,
and
seriously.
recommending our
And the
podcast to
support.
friends.
Thank you.
We really appreciate that. Okay. Next question is longtime fan plus tons of compliments. I don't know what the question's about, but I like the sound of that
Let's
title.
go.
Hi, Nikki and Steve. Did you like that switch up? LOL. No, I didn't. Oh, actually, he said, hi, Steve and Nikki, and I just, in my brain, intuitively switched
Yeah,
the
you
names.
said, I was like, wow, Nikki's being cheeky for no reason.
I am being cheeky because it literally says Steve and Nikki, and
Hey,
I read
thank
it
you for
Nikki and
that.
Steve.
Thank you for that.
All right.
The constant disrespect that I take.
My brain will never switch it to Steve and Nikki, even if it's written that way. Been a fan since the days of the sketches, and you know what I'm talking about? Yes, since the very beginning. Oh my gosh,
Yes,
it's like a
sir.
competition of the longest fans here. That's
Crazy.
amazing. I'm 24, so I'll let you do the math. Oh my gosh, we just did the math, but this person was
it's
even younger when
depressing.
they started
We'll be fine.
watching. Like 11 or 12.
Moving on.
Okay. I recently got into the podcast and I had gone dark from the tuber game and came back and saw you two both had a podcast. Point being, I've seen you both become just two actors on a screen to being an absolute power couple, and I mean it. Oh my gosh, you're so sweet.
Thank you, sir.
You both are very hilarious and down to earth with one another, and I can't help but smile because you two deserve every bit of happiness. Aww.
Oh, thank you.
I've kept up with the vlogs and just the everyday life of you two, and it felt very comforting because it was like watching my peers / older siblings grow up and go through shit that I felt I was alone in, and I wasn't, and it made me feel not alone, if that makes sense. That's exactly
That's
why
what
I
it's
want
for.
to share.
That's
Yeah.
what it's for.
I came to a clear understanding of the quote-unquote adult life, or quote-unquote relationships and quote-unquote friendships from your experiences. At the base root of it, I was in the same boat. I just wanted to say that you are both amazing, funny, talented, and jackasses. LOL.
True.
I rewatched an old troll video Steve did with you, Nikki, involving a Denny's. Oh, that's when you fake proposed to me. I think you know. It always reminded me of how silly you two are, and just the trollness of Steve's humor really shines out, in my opinion, is my favorite.
I had a kid come up to me at Disney. You were there.
Yeah.
And he's like, you proposed to her at a Denny's. He actually was like confronting me about it.
He did.
He was pissed about
That
it.
was so funny.
And I was like, yeah, man, love is love, dude. You got to just fucking take your shot.
And I was like, yeah, I guess I'm into him or whatever. Thank you for always being there, but not being there. It's always comforting to rewatch an old troll video, a Tasty Tuesday, or a neural vlog from the wedding days. Oh my God. Looking back at the old apartment and Tasty Tuesday vids always puts me back in a mental place when I first saw it. And that goes for the vlogs too. It's nice to know that people like you are real and exist out there, and that I'm not alone when it comes to thinking on the same wavelength. I don't feel outcasted when I want to express how I feel as a man, or when I have a quirk that I thought was weird but is now my ability. I hope.
Good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome. I hope one day to be in your shoes with the person I truly love, as weird as it is. There's someone in my life who feels just right, kind of like how you two felt about each other. I'm really excited, but there's history, so maybe that'll be a future email. It's been a roller coaster watching you both get to where you are. I'm grateful to have seen you blossom and to continue doing so. Thanks for being my imaginary favorite older cousins or siblings. You've both taught me more than you can imagine, so give yourselves a pat on the back. You deserve it. Oh, that's so sweet.
Wow, man.
Anyway, allow me to exit myself. Thank you for reading. Thank you for all that you do. Nikki, let's share some music playlists. And Steve, keep on killing the crypto game. I believe in you. Thank you both. Heart emoji, Jackson.
Thank
my
you,
God,
Jackson.
so sweet,
Appreciate you,
Jackson.
brother.
Jackson and Jensen.
Awesome.
Been watching from the beginning.
Crazy.
Craziness.
I am
So
killing the
nice.
crypto game.
There wasn't a question, and there was literally just all compliments.
Yeah.
It's so sweet.
I guess so.
Thank you for listening. And I know I didn't read this beforehand to just like toot my own horn or anything. I really just thought there was a question coming in.
Very true.
That was so sweet. All right. This next question is titled, "My relationship is on the line," all caps.
Okay.
Dear Crypto King and Icebreaker, thank you for addressing me by my title.
It's an absurd title.
I finally caught up with the podcast. Thank you.
Wow.
If you don't remember me, I was a janitor who was binge listening, who submitted a question about his stalker ex.
I already remember you.
If you don't remember, that's cool. I'm not hurt. Cry emoji.
I already remember you. Of course I do.
Loving the podcast very much. It's almost as fun as Big Mood. Shout out.
You know what's funny is I often think of you when I'm thinking of episodes for the show. I'm like, what would our bud who's a janitor think about this while they're working? You know what I mean? Like, is this interesting while they're working?
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And this podcast has been the one thing I look forward to when driving to work. Anyways, let's get into details. I'm in a pretty new relationship, going smooth so far, up until a few nights ago. Uh-oh. I'm a very petty person and have a hard time letting things go. Stubborn
Same.
isn't close to describing me. I'm a Capricorn, if that says anything. Yep.
I'm a Virgo.
Enough said.
I'm the same though.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're a Capricorn rising or some shit.
Sure.
My girlfriend was gaming with a coworker of hers one night for an hour. She knows I get off work at a certain time every night, and yet she decided she was going to game and leave me waiting to talk to her. We always FaceTime when I get off work. It's basically routine, and I didn't like that I had to wait for her to get off her game to talk to her. It was midnight at this point, and I was too tired to speak by this time. A day passed, and I'm still a little bitter, but I have yet to bring it up. Instead, I would take time responding, small talk, seem a little uninterested in conversation, and not use emojis. Emojis have a large play in showing energy and feelings in text. She'd say, I love you with a heart emoji, and I just say, I love you too, minus the heart emoji.
Petty.
Ooh.
Revenge.
When she figured out I was acting weird, I admitted being bitter because of her wanting to game with her friend instead of talking to me.
You couldn't wait to talk about it too. I know you petty fuck.
After that, you wanted her to notice first that you were being petty.
That's right.
After that, she made it clear she was hurt by me being petty. Also made it clear she'd break up with me if I didn't get my act together because she doesn't want to be with someone who would intentionally hurt her emotionally. That's very fair. I get what she means by that, but my ego was too
drastic.
big.
Okay.
She's setting boundaries.
Okay.
I actually like that, but I'll talk about why later.
Yeah, please.
I get what she means by that, but my ego was too big to let this all go because I wanted to satisfy my ego. In the song When I'm Gone by Eminem, oh, you know the way to my heart. The verse, when they know that they're your heart and you know you were their armor and you will destroy anyone who would try to harm her. I thought I lived by that verse. Eminem was my childhood. And I told myself to protect my girlfriend because she's too kind to me. But here I am hurting her emotionally. My question is, how the hell do I learn to put my ego aside? How to swallow my pride?
Okay, you got to just trust your person.
That is very big of you to be that self-aware.
It really is.
First of all,
you're a very intelligent person.
I really love that you're aware enough to even think about that and to write that question.
Very emotionally intelligent and very... Yeah, you take responsibility and accountability for your shit.
And to quote Eminem on top of that in the perfect way, because that line is perfect.
It wasn't perfect, but everything up to that was really nice.
It was perfect.
Point being, you just got to trust your person, man. Your person is your person.
Here's the thing. So it's not unvalid for you to feel that way.
Yeah.
For you to feel hurt after you got off work, you're like, what the heck? That my girl is choosing this guy over me. What the fuck? We always do this. She didn't even tell me. Totally understandable. What wasn't okay is letting it ride for a day and just being very passive aggressive. Yeah. And so that's why I like that she told him that she was hurt because of it and that was kind of a deal breaker. Because honestly, it is. That's how resentment builds up in relationships. And that's how something that could have been such a good thing just can never work out in the end because there's so much years of that happening and then emotions getting pent up and then all of a sudden you're just at war with each other all the time. And so I'm really glad that she put a stop to that right away. I think that maybe you needed more explanation for it.
It was also a oneer.
I know.
No, I'm saying like for her defense.
Well, she's not.
It was a oneer.
She's not threatening. Yeah, she's not threatening to break up with him now.
No, I'm saying like the infraction was a one-time thing. Sounds like they talk every night, and this was like one time where she's yo, I'm not available. So it was a oneer, and then he's kind of freaking out a little too much about it.
It reminds me though of like in the beginning where we actually had I forget what we fought about. Like I don't fucking remember. We used to fight about stupid shit, but. You would never say sorry, like when you hurt me.
You too, pal.
No, I did.
I'm just kidding.
That's
I'm just
not
fucking,
true
I'm just
at all.
Asshole. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like no, you don't remember this conversation because you thought that
I do remember what you're. I do.
You thought that insinuated you were wrong.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I had to explain to you that like, no, you're saying sorry because you hurt me.
Yeah.
And like, you obviously didn't want to hurt me, but you still hurt me.
Yes.
And so saying I'm sorry doesn't mean I'm wrong and I'm changing my opinion or whatever. It just means like that you're sorry that you hurt me.
And I didn't know that I could say I'm sorry while still saying I'm right. And now I know that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like, so I think it was about like the fucking pans.
You probably.
And I was mad because he freaking would scratch up all of my nonstick pans, like the Teflon. He'd scratch it up because he'd cut with his knife and fucking fork in it, and I was getting so frustrated, like to tears, because
I'm trash.
I bought like 3 pans already, and we've had this discussion before, and he kept being like, it's just fucking pans.
I think that's a good point. But
it was the principle was you're disrespecting items that I bought, and it doesn't matter if it's $10 or $1,500. You're ruining something that I bought that I care about, and it hurt my feelings. Yeah. And then that, like, he admitted like that, you know, was like, okay, like I understand, like it hurts you and I won't do it in the future, but you wouldn't say sorry. And I was still really hurt. There was no healing involved. But anyway, this was just one thing where I was like, if this relationship was to work out for a long period of time, there would need to be a little bit of I'm sorry, like when feelings get really hurt. And I always said sorry when I hurt his feelings, even if I didn't think I did anything wrong. But
it wasn't you though. I was just overcompensating from a previous relationship where I said sorry too much and it got me walked on. Yeah. And so I was trying to set those boundaries early on where I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting walked on actually, motherfucker. And it's just pants.
So I think it's important.
So it was that for me.
I think it's just important to address it, like to have that communication involved.
And talk about it like that.
It's like exactly. And it's a language that you guys are creating like to each other where you can communicate more effectively. So maybe our janitor friend here had a relationship where a girl was cheating on him and like she was constantly hanging out with other guys over him, or maybe she didn't even cheat, but she was just constantly not prioritizing him. And so instead of confronting the issue, you're just being passive aggressive about it. Or I don't even know if that's your story, but whatever it is, like it's always better to just say, hey, I'm kind of bothered by this. Let's talk about it. You know?
Well, I also too, let me give you one of the best pieces of advice you'll ever fucking hear about relationships, okay? If you can be not a point of stress for your partner, but actually a point of safety for your partner and relief for your partner, like, trust me, you will have such a better time.
Yeah.
Like, how many times, I mean, dude, even doing this podcast or anything that me and Nikki do together, she'll come up to me and she's like, man, we have to do this, but I have to do this tonight. And my immediate instinct, like tip of my tongue is like, well, let's just who gives a shit? But then my having your back part of me comes through and speaks instead, and it's like, let's make this work for what you need, right? Let's figure out how to make this easy for you.
Yeah.
It's never like you're gonna come to me. It's gonna be stressful because I'm gonna be like, Nikki, we're doing this shit. What the fuck? Has that ever happened?
No.
Never one time?
No.
Probably not once, right? Because I try to be a point of de-stressing your life and not adding into the pile.
Yeah.
Everyone already has enough of that. Your person should not be adding to your pile. Your person should be trying to help you take the load off.
Yeah.
And so wherever I can, if I can, I try to help take the load off. And so if you can not be that person to your person, like your person went over and, you know, now you're putting it in her head where if this happens again, she's got to stress about talking to you.
And that's why I like that she drew the line, that
I think she did good.
Set the boundary.
I think she did really good.
And like she was very clear, like I don't like passive aggressive behavior. Yeah. This isn't okay.
And because you're a petty person, you're like, well, this is how I am. But you're very emotionally intelligent, so you'd be fine.
Yeah, you are.
But you have to just say that that's how you are. Let her know that that's how you are.
Or that sometimes that happens and you're going to try to get better at it.
You want to work on that.
That you might not be perfect right away. Please don't break up with me if I do it again. You know, like just hey, like help me work on this.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again, I'm sure.
But do you want to be the guy who's calling your chick at midnight 05 and going like, we were supposed to be on a thing an hour ago. I don't ever want to be that guy.
No,
right?
Especially if she's having fun. Like she's gaming. Blast.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to be a stressed pile. I'm trying to de-stress your life.
Yeah.
So if you can do that wherever you can do that, I promise you, your person will be thankful that they're with you, because we're around a lot of people, a lot of couples. And I don't know too many who have that going on where it's like I take from them like the stress. Instead it's more I add to their stress.
Yeah.
And that's all I fucking hear about when it comes to other couples. And that's why me and Nikki have no resentment towards each other. If anything, she makes my life better. I make her life better.
Yeah, and if anything has bothered either of us, we say it right away.
Immediately.
Like, so that we can work out a solution where that's not the case and there's still like a really solid foundation of trust there. Like,
but there's so much trust there.
For example, like if it was a trust issue that you were like, oh, is she like this guy that she's gaming with? You could say, just bring it up, not in an accusatory way, but just say like, hey, you know, I really thought I was looking forward to talking to you on FaceTime, and that's what we do every day, and it threw me off that we didn't do that. And well so put. In the future, if you're going to be gaming or whatever, like with somebody, just let me know that, like, so it's not something I look forward to and then kind of get sad about, you know, like just let me know ahead of time, and that way I can plan the rest of my night accordingly.
And what she just said is basically how she talked to me about my old late night writing sessions where I would go into a hole with my buddy and we would be writing and I would lose track of time and I wouldn't even call her to say goodnight sometimes.
Yeah, and especially if he was like, hey, we'll hang out when I come back from writing tonight. Exactly. And then he just never comes home.
Never come home.
I would get really upset. So it was just a
Totally
communication thing. Yeah, but instead of, and I think you know this already, but instead of being passive aggressive for the next 3 days, I told him right away, like, hey, it's just really a bummer because like we usually do this, or you said you were going to do this, and then like you didn't even tell me. And I'm not trying to stop you from writing, but I just would like to know because I just, I thought we were hanging out and it made me look forward to something that wasn't going to happen.
Facts.
And so for you, whatever the issue is, it's just nipping it in the bud right away, I think is always the best. And it also will make her respect you more.
Yes.
And when she has something that wrong, she'll tell you the same thing. Like she'll confront you right away, and you guys will never have to worry about something being held over your head that you didn't even know was being held over your head.
But always ask yourself, am I a stress adder or am I a de-stressor? And what can I do in this moment to try to be more of a de-stressor than a stress adder?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not talking about burying your emotions. I'm just talking about like, trying to be cognizant of that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Word.
And
that's it.
Okay.
That's the whole fucking show.
That's the whole show. Yeah, honestly,
that's the whole fucking show.
We have more, like a few more questions, but we are at the end of the show, so we all have to get to them next time. Again, if you have a question, you can ask us anything. Brian, great job with the freaking writing there. You can ask us anything. Podcast at Nikki.Limo, Nikki.Limo, like a limousine.
Is his name Brian?
I thought you called him Brian.
I thought I called him Brett. I always fuck up his name. Hope he's not listening. I don't think he listens
Mark,
this far.
Cut that out.
I don't think he listens this far. I think we're fine.
Yeah. He just does the writing. He's like, I heard my bit.
Yeah. He listens for his bits.
Mark, just make sure Brett.
Yeah, make sure Brett.
Brendan.
Brendan. I think it's Brennan.
Okay.
Make sure he doesn't hear it. Thanks, Mark. He's your intern. Just fire him, Mark. Just fire him.
We don't want confrontation. We just want to let him go. All right. We love you guys. Be like Jensen. Tell your friends about the podcast.
Yes, please.
We love you.
Also, patreon.com/sticky.
STIKKI, Steve does Crypto Corner every single week. We do live shows.
3 to 4 hours sometimes. It's pretty wild.
We do a live stream together once a month. We do extra episodes of Shit They Don't Tell You. There's a whole Discord community that's amazing. You'll have a lot of fun there. So check it out.
If you're like, hey, how do I get a Crypto Corner on stuff? No, it's in the Patreon. You'll find it, right? I do it every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Pacific Standard Time. Yep.
Why would you say Eastern?
I don't know. It just popped in my head. But 7 p.m. every Tuesday night.
Yep.
So you'll just see it linked in the Patreon.
Stop farting around each other.
Please.
Good night.
Good night.